a linchpin to everything that he has been doing.
Michael Yoshida, just stay on with me. I need to go across to Jeffrey Sachs, who's just tuned in. Thank you, Jeffrey Sachs, for speaking with us this evening. Very consequential evening. How do you see this scenario unfold? What does this mean now for countries such as India, who are sitting miles across and are negotiating trade deals with Trump? Give us the overview.
Well, rip up the so-called trade deal. It's there's no point to it anymore. Trump did not have the authority to threaten India. He did not have the authority to impose tariffs on India. He did not have the authority to put penalties on India. All of it was unconstitutional, in violation of the law. Rip it up. There's nothing there.
Zaka.
Professor Sachs, you know, the Supreme Court verdict has taken a very narrow view. There's a particular section of the IEEPA which they say the president does not have the power or the authority to impose, but there are other instruments where the president can reimpose these tariffs. Do you think he will do that, or he just give up on this tariffs, because it's been a signature policy of his in the second term?
Well, I don't think it's a narrow opinion. It's actually quite a bold, clear opinion. It goes back to the American Revolutionary War, which was a war about taxation without representation. It said that the U.S. Constitution therefore put the authority of government revenues, including tariffs, into the hands of the representatives of the people in Article 1 of our Constitution. It's not a narrow reading. It's not a reading about the legislative language. It's a reading about the grab for power by the executive branch on something that does not belong to the executive branch. Will Trump try something else? Most likely, but he will also fail. But the man is a wrecking ball, no question. I'm just advising India, as I've been saying for a year, this is baloney. There was never the legality for this. This has been one-person rule in the United States. It's a nonsense. And if he tries something else, it'll be a nonsense too, because the ability to impose tariffs on India belongs with the U.S. Congress, not with Donald Trump.
So you're saying your advice to India right now would be, and I believe that a negotiating team was supposed to leave on Monday to the U.S. to vet the legal framework for this trade deal between India and the U.S. Your advice to them would be to cancel their tickets and sit tight.
Absolutely. Take a break, read the opinion, study it, think about all of this, listen to the rest of the world, and then take a trip. Absolutely do not act right now on something that has just been voided.
Yeah, okay. Just 1 second before I come out to you, so I just wanted to ask a question of Mr. Sachs on this point. Mr. Sachs, we're being told that there are other instrumentalities that Trump can lean on, actually, and that he could still instigate pressure on countries. That basically gives him leverage, doesn't it?
Trump thinks that he's a New York real estate developer that can use threats as he likes to bully people into agreements. And he's been doing that for a year. But that's not how our system of government is designed. And today, the Supreme Court said it quite clearly. It's actually a strong opinion. It is not a technical opinion. It is a strong constitutional opinion that this is an unconstitutional grab for power. Does Trump have other instruments of bullying? Yes. But what do you do with bullies? Do you just give in, or do you say stop bullying?
Never.
My view is you say stop the bullying. This is not acceptable.
But do you see him backing off in an election year, midterm elections? He's already quite unpopular. His ratings are quite down. Do you see him backing down on something like this?
No. No, I don't see him backing down.
It's Michael. Wondering if we're clear.
He's not a nice man. He's not backing down, but he doesn't have the authority. So it means that India doesn't have to back down. That's what it means. It means that other countries don't have to back down.
See, Rahul, a bully is essentially a coward. That's what Donald Trump genuinely is. He's a coward who has abused his office and threatened, to my mind, the economy of America. Because here's what's going to happen. And, there's no one more eminent and more reasoned than Jeffrey on this program. Three things are going to happen. If you have to give back refunds, you are staring at a possible budget deficit, which means you will have a shortfall in the US budget. What does that do? It increases your debt issuance. It increases inflation. I mean, this man is jeopardizing all of America and threatening the American citizen at the cost of his goddamn ego. When you have an idiot in office, this is what happens. And when you have an idiot who's surrounded by a bunch of idiots, it happens even more. Can you imagine? You have Howard Lutnick, who supposedly ran Cantor Fitzgerald, advising him. An investment banker only thinks about one thing: exit. They never think about the long term. These are the people who are running America. I mean, I'm not saying this to flatter Jeffrey, and I remember meeting Jeffrey earlier last year in Delhi. You need people who will give you advice which is sagacious, neutral, and reasoned. For yes men, you need to go to an amusement park. The White House has been turned into an amusement park today. And the jokers are in it. The circus is being watched around the world. And the pawns are the American people.
So let me ask you, Jeffrey Sachs.
I told you this at the beginning of the program. India should not back down.
Okay, are you surprised that the markets haven't sort of reacted in a way that seems to be more welcoming of this decision, and that there is just incremental sort of gains on both the NASDAQ and the Dow?
I haven't even had time to look at the markets, frankly, but I don't think you're going to read from the markets the import of this. Mr. Lutnick, by the way, seemed to have time to think about Epstein as well. So this is a gang that should not be anywhere close to power. This is the basic point, and it's true. It's important. It is hurting us in the United States very badly, but it's hurting the whole world because it is reckless bullying. And I have to add, it has made no sense, even from America's point of view, even from a narrow point of view of so-called American interests, anything that Trump has been doing. It's been economic illiteracy from the first moment. And now it's absolutely true. There will be hundreds of billions of dollars claimed for the budget, which in any event was going to be 7% of GDP deficit. All of that goes away this morning. So this is a very consequential ruling. But for India, take a deep breath, take a pause, rip up the trade agreement. You'll have a chance to come back to all of these issues later.
Well,
Follow Buddhism. Follow Buddhism.
Okay.
Say nothing.
We might have to do
Because
something.
whatever you do,
we may say nothing.
No, you don't do anything. At times, it is best to do nothing.
Okay, we'll
When
just say
a
that
person like
Indigo,
Donald Trump does anything, he's destructive.
the Indigo
We
flight,
don't need to do anything.
The Indigo flight to New York or DC didn't take off on Monday morning. That's what we can say, and probably be believed. But let me just bring in Harris, Mr. Harris, in there. Jeffrey Sachs believes this is the death knell. You have a slightly different view. Can you elucidate on this? Are we being a bit too triumphal?
I think as we've been trying to tease out in this conversation, we really need to focus on the specifics of the Supreme Court decision. They looked at one legal authority and one tool. The president had read into this tool emergency powers that didn't exist, according to the Supreme Court. And so on Liberation Day, quote unquote, as I see the graphics of the president with this grand placard of all of these tariffs, those tariffs go away because this legal authority is not for use for tariffs. However, Congress has